ArcGIS. We left this screen like this. This was actually the image we georeferenced correctly with our coordinate systems. Now, so if your screen, if you're not having your catalog on the screen, maybe you're having something like this which is blank, or you're having create feature class or feature data, anything at the right hand side, simply come to your Windows and locate catalog. Okay, now what you do, come to the edge until you see this, and then you drag. Let's expand it a little so that we'll be able to see what is there. Okay, now what I'm trying to do is that I'm going to connect this folder into ArcGIS. This Unijust SHP, which is shapefile. It depends on your institution. Remember, we've started this program and then we agreed on you trying it for your institutions or any project at all. It must not be institution, any project you have, any planning project, whether it's subdivision or creating layouts or doing master plans, comprehensive plan, action plans, whatsoever plans, original plans. You have to create this folder, and you also have to learn how to archive your folders, just the way we've been doing. You see, we've been working under one single folder called Unijust. So let's continue. So after coming here into your into your ArcGIS, on the top screen here, you see this is to go back, this is go forward, this is up one level, this is go to home folder, this is what it means. Okay, and then go to default geodata base. Then this is open content, choose content panel view, and then you have connect to folder. We also have toggle panel, content panel, and options. So what we'll be doing is that there's one interesting thing about ArcGIS or software or CAD programs. The more you get into using it, the more you learn new perspective, new skills, new breakthroughs. So now what we simply do is that in order for us to add that Unijust folder, we come to connect to folder. Remember that I said that yours is on the desktop, mine is under downloads for some reasons. Then we go down and look for that file Unijust. You can double click on it, then you select this the generic name you save as your SSP, that shape file. I click once, left click, and I click OK. Now what it does is that it's going to add it up to you by itself, and you can see it here on highlighted on blue. So what we'll do first is to right click on it and go to new, and we are going to be creating what we call file geodatabase. Now file geodatabase is simply your root folder in which all the shape files that you'll be creating will be stored inside. Supposing you are doing a base map, you know, on the base map you have structures, you have roads, you have trees, maybe you have pedestrians, you have footpaths. That's pedestrian, sorry. Yeah, footpath, sorry, footpath is different from pedestrian. You have what again? Maybe you have water body, you have an outcrop, and a whole lot of them. So you have everything is going to be created under the file geodatabase. So under that Unijust SSP, you go to file geodatabase, you go to right click, you go to new. That is, you right click, you go to new, and you go to file geodatabase. Okay, so let's allow it to open. Now this is new file geodatabase. You don't need to worry yourself about the naming. You can see that it's under this Unijust shapefile SHP. Now what you do next, you also right click on this. You can actually rename this if you want to, but I don't want us to do that now. Let's leave it the way it is. You see this is blue, you click on it, you right click, you go to new again, then you now create what we call feature class. Now remember that we have about 5 to 6 land uses. You have the residential, you have the commercial, you have the public and open spaces, you have the green spaces, you have the education, and the rest of them. So it's the same thing. What you'll be doing is that in every feature class, supposing we are to create a feature class, let's say we are creating circulation. This is a circulation. That is our circulation as our what do you call it, as our land use. Then you go next and you apply. You're ready to be applied defaultly, or you just click to be sure your UTM zone. You click on next, you click on next, click on next, and you allow it to be. Now the tree structure is very simple. From that folder on our desktop, we've been able to create file database. Under file database, we've been able to create feature class. Now this feature class is now where you have sections of whatsoever you're having. So under this circulation, you click on it, we can now have let's say we'll create feature class. Now it's under this feature class. This is the real vector data. Now let's call it the arterial, or let's call it we have arterial, we have the collector, and we have the access. So let's just call this arterial. You call this arterial. I hope I'm spelling it correctly. Arterial route. Okay, arterial route. Now you have to hold your shift and hold the minus sign close next to 0. That's underscore. If you don't do that, ArcGIS will not recognize what you're typing. Okay, supposing you press a space in between and put arterial route. Once you want to go next, it pops up with an invalid name. That's an error showing you that the invalid feature class names specified. A feature class name cannot contain spaces. Please enter a new name without any spaces. Now what this means is that you can either do it without spacing, or you can choose the underscore by holding shift beside your question mark or beside the Z on your keyboard, and then you type on the underscore beside 0 to your right. Now after doing that, the alias, you don't mind anything about that. Then our route, we would like to use a line feature. Then our geometry property, we would like to use M and Z value. You click that, then you next it, you tolerance, you leave it, you next, and then here what you can simply type, just type arterial route. Let's just type arterial. This is a text, it doesn't matter. Arterial route, arterial route. This way you can give name, then you finish. Okay, the following name is invalid. Okay, fine. What it means is that let's just make it name. Just put name simply there. Let's just make it name, and then we'll finish it. Wait for it to load. Now there we have it. There we have it as our shapefile. This is now the vector, and you can see when you come to your table of contents, you can see arterial route is already appearing here. So it means we've created it successfully. Now what else can we see? Let's go ahead and see. We can categorize this route as, maybe we call it an access. Though it's by planning standard is supposed to be a collector, but we just call it access just for training sake. Now under circulation, you still right click, you go to new, create feature class. Let's call it access underscore route. Then type, we call it line. Geometry, M and Z value, that is 2D and 3D. You click on the option, then you hit on name, then you just press the arrow, or just come to this section, show you text, and you finish. You can see we have access route. So what do you want to do else? We have buildings. Let's just call every structure here buildings, but know that when you want to do a more detailed work, you have to specify the faculties, the administration blocks. So the admin block, the faculty of medicine, whatever faculty of environmental science, or school of environmental science, school of law, school of art and languages, whatsoever, or hostels, auditoriums, halls, theater halls, and all that. All those will serve as your shape files, which are the vector data. So you have to be careful with them. For this work, I'm going to assume everything to be just buildings. So what I will do, I will come up here. I won't create it under circulation. I'll come to my file database and right click, and then create new feature class. I would like to categorize this under structures. I'll first of all type structures like this without a space. You go on next. The coordinate system is already added automatically. You go hit next, you hit next. Now you can see that you have structures, and the feature class under this has now been minimized. So under structures, I'm going to right click